Hello? Hey, baby. Nah, y'all go ahead, man. I'm gonna sit back, get in the word a little bit, pray. Matter of fact, I might even write a letter to myself. Yeah, that's what I think I'm gonna do. Alright.
Hello, YouTube, and welcome to day 5 and 6 of us studying about creation, the foundation of basically Bible study. Let's jump right in. Well, kind of. If you haven't been following up so far, we've been going through the 7 days of creation because I believe this is really the foundation for everything that we do. If we look at how God created the earth, you can start seeing the parallels into what we need to do in our day-to-day to be successful, to successfully live, not necessarily make a lot of money, but to live a full life. Just go back and look, and we'll talk a little bit briefly about the different days, but we went through so far day 1, 2, 3, and 4. For every day we assign a word that goes along with the day for what happened, but then it actually means something. Day 1, God saying let there be light, so we used the word light for a lot of different reasons. Day 2, God created the sky, something we look up to and something that we believe there's a big calling for our life. There's a hope in what we see above, so we use the word hope. Day 3, God making seeds and plants. He makes fruits, but he puts seeds inside the fruit for the opportunity for more fruit to grow. So that's why we use in day 3 opportunity. And then day 4, the sunrise, sunfall, the day, the night. He really made time, like a full day, daylight and nighttime, and then the timing of it that mark the seasons, like we're going through the end of winter right now, or the beginning of spring. He marks that with time, and there's a time for certain things. There's a time for winter and spring. There's a time for different things. So we use time for day 4. Day 5 and 6 is very interesting. I'm going to put them together for a reason, but let's just start reading. Then God said, let the waters swarm with living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the expanse of the sky. So God created large sea creatures and every living creature that moves and swarms in the water, according to their kinds. He also created every winged bird according to its kind, and God saw that it was good. So God blessed them. Be fruitful, multiply, and fill the waters for the seas, and let the birds multiply on the earth. Evening came, and then the morning, the 5th day. I want you to think about that 5th day. We're going to roll right into the 6th day. We're going to combine them two for a reason. We're going to keep them separate, but you'll see what I mean. Then God said, let the earth produce living creatures according to their kinds, livestock, creatures that crawl, and wildlife on the earth according to their kinds. And it was so. So God made the wildlife on the earth according to their kinds, the livestock according to their kinds, and creatures that crawl on the ground according to their kinds. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, let us make man in our image, according to our likeness. They will rule the fish of the sea, the birds of the sky, the livestock, all the earth, and the creatures that crawl on the earth. So God created man in his own image. He created him in the image of God. He created them male and female. God blessed them, and God said to them, be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth, and subdue it. Rule the fish of the sea, the birds of the sky, and every creature that crawls on the earth. God also said, Look, I have given you every seed-bearing plant on the surface of the entire earth, and every tree whose fruit contains seed. This fruit will be for you, for all the wildlife on the earth, for every bird of the sky, and for every creature that crawls on the earth. Everything having the breath of life in it, I have given every green plant for fruit. And it was so. God saw all that it had made, and it was very good. Evening came, and the morning, the 6th day. This is the way I look at it. This is my version of it, and this is what I encourage for people to just try to think of, because we really want to think about these 7 days as a building block, because you'll see this parallel in so many other things, and we'll go through that after we get done this part of the study. Day 5, God created birds, and sea creatures. Now, as humans, yeah, sometimes we find ourselves high in the sky, depending if we're on a plane or something, or you can just jump really high. I don't know. Sometimes, depending on your calling, I have a good friend. He really loves the water. Yes, that's you, Mr. Garrett. He really loves the water, and that's where his part of his calling is. And he's around sea creatures. But for the majority of us, we don't find ourselves around birds and sea creatures a lot. But it doesn't mean that we don't affect, like the dolphins or eagles or, you know what I mean? I think God puts something on our heart that will affect a large group of people or animals or whatever, but we'll just say people for the sake of this conversation, affect a large group of people that we normally would not come in contact with. And that's why I use the word population for day 5. This is a population God has for us, using our talents and skills, using those first 4 days. He turns on our light. He gives us hope in His plan for us. And then He gives us opportunity to actually live it. And if we choose that, it takes time for it to develop. Things just don't happen overnight. Life's not a lottery ticket where we just expect, bam, everything's just... No, you gotta grind it out, and you gotta work through things. It takes time. And then there's a population out there that you are meant to affect. It doesn't matter what you do, you have a talent and skill inside of you that you're meant to use. And not just for yourself. I mean, I know plenty of people out there that think that they're working a job so one day they can have enough money to sit on a beach by themselves and die. If that doesn't sound absolutely depressing, I don't know what does. That's not for me. I know I'm going to be in Philadelphia until I'm dead. I have talents and skills in my life that I know I am to share, in my case, with other people on YouTube and in Philadelphia. There's a lot of people I have not met. There's a lot of YouTubers. I mean, right now I have 250 subscribers. 251 actually. Thank you to every one of them. But I'm not going to pretend like I have a deep conversation with every one of you guys or people that might be randomly watching this. But my calling on teaching this the way that I do might be affecting people out there. And I'm okay. I'm open to that. That's why I post this stuff. So there's a population out there that we're built to affect. But then, notice day 6. Day 6, God makes those things that we are around a lot. He makes those land creatures out there that we are walking around a lot, like ants, or depending on how tight your house is, mice, or dogs, or cats, or the people. God puts that same population a lot closer to us too, though. The biggest part about day 6, God creates man and women. Man and woman. He puts them together to rule over the earth, to utilize all those things He has created before man and woman. I want you to also look at this too, because as we go through this study, a lot of times people find themselves not giving God a shot because people think it's just a bunch of rules that just suck, that just are restrictive, and they're not open to fun. I want to read this. God blessed them, and God said to them, "Be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth, and subdue it. Rule the fish of the sea, the birds of the sky, every creature that crawls on the earth. Look, I have given you every seed-bearing plant on the surface of the earth, on the entire earth, and every tree whose fruit contains seed." Check this out. He is saying to man and woman, I'm going to bless you. I'm going to absolutely just give you everything. And I want you to have fun, because when he says be fruitful and multiply, let's just be adult about this. It's talking about man, woman, and sex. Yeah, he's talking about sex with one woman, essentially the man's wife, the wife's husband, okay? But he's saying, go ahead, do your thing. I am allowing this, and I think it's a good thing. On top of that, as we said about day 3, he said, I have given you every seed-bearing plant. I have given you every opportunity to succeed, too. I'm going to give you all the food you need. I'm going to give you all the animals that you need. I'm going to give you these trees for a shelter so you can build a house. I'm going to give you everything you absolutely need. And everything that you want, that you really want, that your body and your soul really wants. When somebody goes out there and tries to get all this money, you know why? Because they might really want sex, right? Well, you know, if you have a wife or a husband, whatever, that's not a bad thing. And you don't have to go out and spend 80 hours a week at a job. God will provide everything that you need and want. He'll give you the opportunity to use your talents and skills to not just affect yourself and you and that wife relationship, but those creatures on the earth and those birds and fishies in the sea. Day 6, we use the word teamwork, because it takes a team to do this. Notice he didn't just make man, because later on you'll read, if you read on your own, later on you'll read that when just man was walking around, man was lonely. Doesn't matter how many animals are around, doesn't matter how many trees and stuff, just like we talked about that poor soul on the beach. I know people like that. They think that their whole goal in life is to sit on a beach by themselves when they're retired. Good luck to that. But for us to really understand, like, it's about that teamwork. I do some coaching as well. I always send shout outs to Rock Ministry in Kensington, Philadelphia, because the teamwork that is built there is amazing. Absolutely amazing. People that normally don't work with each other or know each other, sometimes in as little as an hour and a half, find a way for teamwork to happen. And then we start doing some great things. People start opening up about their lives. People start achieving something in boxing, or achieving even something different. Look at the model that Jesus Christ used. And this is the same thing I tell the guys that I coach boxing to. Jesus affected the entire world. The entire world. Whether you like it or not, you know there's something called Christianity, and there's a reason for it, and there's things that happened that developed it. So Jesus affected the entire world, but he used a small group to do it. The same thing I teach the guys at The Rock. Yeah, I know I'm to affect Philadelphia, but right now my calling is to be at The Rock with a small, sometimes it might be as little as 10 guys, sometimes it's 60 guys or so. Like, it doesn't matter, but there's a group that we are more intimate with and to learn and grow with, that hopefully in the future is going to affect Philadelphia that much more. Give a shout out to Academy Park, same thing. There was a group of kids that might affect the way that Philadelphia or the United States or something else, how people look at their passions and how they get opportunity, but they used a small group. I was in a classroom with very motivated kids, what was it, like 10 or 12 of them, that ended up affecting 268 students, more than 40 professors, more than 300 people on a Saturday, that ended up getting the paper for Delco Times, and then next thing you know, we might be running more things that might be affecting businesses in Philadelphia, but it took a small group to do it. Teamwork. It's not easy. It's a little messy. Just like the man and woman. Anybody that's married knows. Anybody that has a girlfriend or a boyfriend knows it's not easy. It's messy. It's sloppy. You're dealing with a different personality, somebody that's gone through different experiences. But but it's worth it. I could definitely go on and on about this. I actually want to hear what you have to say about day 5 and 6. We're at near the end of this study, and I really think this is important because this is the foundation of the things that we're going to do going forward. I use this same model even for my Eagles videos or for the other things that I'm called to do, and I'm realizing that taking these 7 days, this is the first book of the Bible. This is Genesis chapter 1. We just finished chapter 1. The 7th day is chapter 2, the beginning of it. This is the beginning. If you take these 7 days seriously and really map this out and see the order of how things happen, and you start living it, you'll find out how true it is. It starts to become scary in a good way. And this is just scratching the surface. We're talking about the first chapter of the first book of the Bible. God doesn't hide the steps to success. He gives it to us for free. So without trying to close it all up, because we still have day 7, which is obvious, but I want to go over that maybe in a week or so. We'll see. Been absolutely blessed by some of the people that have been commenting, and from some of the guys that I coach that watch this. Please comment. Please, let's talk about this. Let's work this out. That's part of teamwork, because we want to get something accomplished. I know I want to get something accomplished in Philadelphia, and I want to encourage people that I haven't even met yet on YouTube and wherever I go to follow Christ, because it will free your life to do anything, because I truly believe anything is possible. Thank you for your time doing the study today, and I hope you have a blessed day.
God, I pray that you would teach me how to worship you in spirit and in truth. I pray that you would have your way in my life, Lord, and that you would continue